Ago chama ganhame. Ago chama ganhame. Ninja se big man.
Ago chama ganhame. Cha no manyaba. Ofeje wo gbe komi. Cha no manyaba. Be chama ganhame. Yera don ake wo fonni ke chene akenye ba wo shan wo ni nyeba bu wotwe was an few no yo eke hani e sheji fen de twa no manyaba
yo ada Future aloy nye you adon ake no wo chenye ne nyeba mi money you ne ngbeji Wolormo Boni Nuumo noi Osekan Kpenuku Osu Nadu ke Klote Wolormo wache ni twashin ha wo leji ni no to ma tu ni ji pa o Osu ashinte blo hun ja seche ke Osu acting Osu mankralo me bia ne leji mo ni twashin ha wo wache hun ni ta in kuno leji Osu shipidudo miji asafwe ejwe ni yo Osu efen ameshipifo efen amecheni o achole shipidudo jase che wekunu pa hu chanu papa le ni we ye tomobo ni wo ni ta ni ne julon gbe hu leji ni note opimbo agbo kotoba bi manche ni atole o ngmene chenu wo chenye bi ta frache gbenoni ake Osu shipoji chon ke GADANGME fe no efe wo ahunto no ha wo chenye koni wo ka wiemo afonman jirano koni noni ya no ke onupa e abo woto ye na meche wo shitramu ni wo ka masusu ni biahe wo bi sin anukwale pe jinoni wo yuo ni ko yue koni amralo ko nupa ni shipoji asajin kwa mehe kwe na mebo woto yi no wo aka ni noni wongma ni watawo ni woke ha amralo elo amralo abutu ha wo aka ni ye blofo mi koni amebo woto yi. Demanding transparency and inclusion, the future of OSU and the entire GADANGME lands and all allodial owners. Respected members of the press, distinguished invited guests and people of OSU, I am before you today as the Nadu Klote Wolormo, owner and ruler of OSU, as it has been from time immemorial when this our beloved land was given to my ancestors, to address issues of great importance regarding the land and socio-economic development of our ancestral home and us as a people. The reference is Religion and Medicine of the Ga People, page 64 by M.J. Phelps. OSU holds a special place in Ghana's history and culture. As one of the prime places in the Greater Accra region and the capital of Ghana respectively, OSU land had taken credence given its geographical position. And it has been the seat of government for several decades. It can therefore not be disregarded and treated as if we appeared here by thaumaturgy. OSU migrated here from Shai Osudoku, met the Wolormo of Nungwa, and the king of Accra, Nuumo Lakute Adua Ushinae Wolormo. By explicit consent, agreements and permissions from these two great landlords, OSU was given its present site from the Atlantic Ocean to the Ajangoto Hills and beyond. In accordance with land and tenure laws, rules and laws which prevailed from pre-colonial Gold Coast era to this day of our Fourth Republic. Our land nurture our people's lives and livelihoods. Therefore, it deeply concerns me when our rightful role as allodial owners and custodians of these lands are disregarded. In recent times, we have witnessed various projects and developments on OSU lands, including road expansions, housing estates, and commercial facilities. However, in many cases, if not all, the relevant authorities have sidelined the allodial owners in the planning and negotiations regarding these lands. We were not consulted nor given a seat at the table. Even our existence was not considered. The lands we are talking about are the European residential area, the Osumache layout, the Ringway estates, the Rangoon estates, the Roman Ridge lands, part of cantonments, airport residential area, airport military land from 37 Trotro station to the airport city, Legon lands, Achimota forest, the Marine Drive project lands. As the legally recognized custodians of these lands, it is our right and responsibility to actively be involved in shaping their future. We seek transparency regarding all dealings and transactions on our lands. It is unacceptable that agreements are made, funds change hands without informing us. We demand accountability. Our participation does not obstruct development. On the contrary, it ensures equitable development, unfolds sustainability and responsibility, balancing economic progress and sociocultural continuity. We have records of some companies whose names appear as constant purchasers of lands that are marked as government lands. As if they act as statutory government agents, all our lands are being sold to them. We have seen the underlying pattern of funneling our properties and resources through them. We have lands given unlawfully to entities who then profit immensely while our communities remain underserved. This must change, or we shall change it. Development must benefit all. Let me zoom into very specific instances. Along the main roads in Osu, illegal garages and shops have cropped up, yet depriving us of revenue. Some significant percentage of which is rightfully ours. When we have tried to address this, the MCEs claim the land is needed for road expansions, but only provides temporary permits while commercial entities profit long term. Secondly, on lands given to the president in trust, it is opaque if the president can personally own lands held in trust, as in Executive Instrument 108. When original owners of such lands attempt to give out such lands for the development of the socio-economic lives of their communities, it becomes contentious. This, permit me to say, does not happen only in Osu, but sadly all over GADANGME lands. We question the purpose and true meanings and status of these trusts. Trust seems to be used to exclude landowners. Is this political coerciveness? The government must be more transparent regarding trust over Osu and, for that matter, all GADANGME lands. Osu has a judgment of this matter over this matter of trust in suit number BMISC 389/2007 before His Lordship, the late Honorable Justice Anthony K. Abada, on the 25th day of October 2007. If the purpose of the land held in trust changes, the government must consult the original owners before proceeding with new developments. But the government disregards the interests of the original owners and variates the purpose of the land unilaterally. Trust should not be mechanisms to dispossess communities of their ancestral lands. The colonial era agreements, laws which demarcated large portions of land in Osu and named it European residential area, which is Osu Mache layout, clearly did not preclude the original owner from any dealings of the land. So one may ask, what are the intentions of our Ghanaian governments and the lawmakers in parliament towards the people of Osu and in a broader scope, GADANGME? These lands, the Osu Mache layout, were improperly given to the Gold Coast Housing Corporation. After independence, it's translated into into State Housing Company, breaching the agreement registered as number 504, promising annual payments which judiciously should be paid to Osu Stool, but wrongfully went to the government in power. How do we consider this? If not disdain, then we can rightfully say it is daylight robbery of our resources for our socio-economic development. Lands from Police Hospital to Rich Hospital were taken to build Rangoon Estate without consent or compensation to anyone. Meanwhile, several judgments under Executive Instrument 108, which do not affect encumbered land, were ignored by the government. So on what legal basis were these lands leased to entities like the State Housing Company and other private companies? Is it just a show of executive power? Let the powers that be come out to speak with us. In short, the government continues to break laws and agreements made by colonial authorities with Osu and GADANGME traditional leaders, to our bewilderment in this democratic dispensation. We seek openness and accountability regarding transactions on lands given in trust or leased illegally. Let us resolve these issues to forge ahead justly as one people belonging to one nation. On Legon lands, in the colonial era, lands to the west of the Dodua Road, which belonged to Osu, was taken for the University College. The precursor of Legon, it is clear Legon appropriated more lands than originally allocated. There are accounts of encroachment onto additional portions of Osu lands without consent or even notification to our traditional council. The Tobuasi family of La, who owned land to the east of Legon, were to be paid annual compensation of £70 yearly under colonial agreements. Tragically, these payments were never honored after independence. Osu also suffers the same fate. Osu has been thought to be a dead or non-existent community in this matter. We do not know of any amendment to the contract that promulgated autocracy or dictatorial authority by the democratically elected president of Ghana. Osu has been ignored, disregarded, and is faced with existential threat because of our lands. We know our rights and benefits. It is painful to see our youth go through the university, sited on our soil, paying very exorbitant hostel fees to private housing companies who have been given our land by the university authorities for commercial purposes, under the pretext of educational housing expansions. These are hostels built on our lands. While we acknowledge the need for expansion to promote education, we are concerned about exorbitant rental fees and opaque agreements between the hostel owners and Legon. Furthermore, Legon's agreement with Toyota Ghana Limited to acquire more of OSU lands with the pretext of educational expansion, same as the site for the proposed new school of law near the Toyota facility. This requires scrutiny and dialogue with the custodians of OSU lands. I implore the Legon authorities to promptly meet with us, the OSU traditional leaders, to address these lingering injustices. We can resolve issues amicably through open dialogue and form mutual beneficial partnership for education's advancement. We shall seek court arbitration if our grievances continue to be ignored. The time is right to rectify past wrongs. On Achimota lands, the Achimota College, which was called Cambridge College as it was then known, acquired about 770 acres of OSU lands for purposes of setting up a school. Only 447 acres were used, leaving 323 acres. OSU was in court and got 172.26 acres from the judgment towards the socio-economic development of its people. This matter traveled to the Supreme Court, and the matter was ruled in favor of OSU. Like the proverbial Kpenuku stories, various documents and adverse claims started popping out from people and families who claimed to be clients of Nana Akufo-Addo's law firm. Then again, land and mineral resources, the Minister of Land and Mineral Resources came out with a statement on the Achimota forest, which forms part of OSU lands, purported to be government land taken over with the power of legislation. This is again a show of power. Regarding lands near 37 Military Hospital, the Trotro Station, and the military base ordinance towards airport ordained for the second phase of the airport city development, we were excluded from government plans to unilaterally allocate these ancestral lands, which were acquired for military facilities, to Unique Development Company Limited, which we have evidence of those documents. Similar opacity surrounds the airport city lands, which were sold off market price for $89 million to foreign entities like Heaven Builders of Nigeria. This was far below the $139 million that was originally costed for the land. The OSU stool was not consulted or engaged in this transaction involving ancestral lands under our custodianship. We demand full transparency regarding any dealings in our lands. We must be informed, consulted, and given a seat at the table to review proposals and contracts. Any agreements made without engaging the rightful custodians shall be contested and considered null and void. We are ready to contribute insights for ethical, sustainable development, but we will ferociously guard our people's interests against duplicitous dispossessions. While supporting development, we insist on engagement as rightful custodians. OSU seeks active, equitable participation in shaping all projects on lands tied to our heritage, to uphold accountability to benefit our people. Regarding the Marine Drive project, we were initially engaged when Togbe Afede, the 21st, and Dr. Sohn approached us with plans. However, the original proposal encroached heavily on the OSU coastline and our ancient quarter of Aneho. Though Though revised after consultations, since the sword-cutting ceremony, we have been excluded entirely, despite this project occupying large swaths of ancestral coastal lands. I say with authority that I was substituted on the demise of the Osu Manche. The court documents is with us, and in due time, we shall demand to know what is going on. Backroom dealings and funds are reportedly changing hands involving private entities, without transparency or accountability to us as custodians. As allodial owners of the soil, we insist on being fully informed and involved in all the marine drive project decisions implicating Osu lands. We are ready to contribute ideas and solutions, but will not countenance opaque transactions that enrich some few people in power. Our suburban lands, which the Land Commission assumed to be acquired government property, have already been struck out by the court, such as the Executive Instrument 108. Yet the government keeps turning a blind eye to this and continue to deprive us of our rights and benefits. We want to know the following from the Lands Commission Department of Ghana. Do they have an office where we can engage with them directly? We believe all we are asking for is transparency and what our benefits are, and nothing more. What sort of partnership are they envisioning with the original landowners? If there is going to be complete loss of our lands with no compensation or even knowledge of who took it, we say that is totally unacceptable. The Land Commission seems to have turned into land sellers in this. Who knows who era? Surveyors are becoming landowners, while original owners are lost in the dark. We are ready to collaborate with government businesses and all other partners for Osu and GADANGME development. But we insist on an equitable role, one where our voices are heard, our ownership respected, and our people's interests protected. This will allow us to harmonize visions and co-create solutions serving all stakeholders. We look forward to a future where lands are judicially utilized, cultural heritage are preserved, and residents prosper through new opportunities. I urge all concerned parties to heed our call. Let us come together, share information, bridge gaps, right all wrongs, and plan Osu and GADANGME, the GADANGME future, inclusively, as one people with a shared destiny. We remain committed to constructive engagement. The time for opacity ends today, and I repeat, the time for opacity ends today. A new era of openness begins. I thank you all for your time and attention. Long live Osu, long live GADANGME, long live Ghana.